It was a busy week on the PGA Tour, and we'll get into that. But first, did you see this snake on the green before the second round of the CIMB Classic? I ain't going anywhere near that green if that thing's around. Anywhere near that green. I don't know if that's normal in Kuala Lumpur, but let's hope not. As for the actual golf, Justin Thomas came in defending the only win of his young career. Entering the final round, it was PGA Tour journeyman Anirban Lahiri who led the field by 4 strokes, but after a quadruple bogey on his third hole, when he actually bounced back from pretty nicely, Lahiri fell out of contention. Justin Thomas started his final round by birdieing 4 of his first 5 holes. Continuing a trend he started near the end of his third round, to vault himself to his second PGA Tour victory, the second in a row at the CIMB Classic. Personally, I couldn't be happier for Justin. He's done things right the last few years, from being open on social media to hanging around with the likes of Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, and Smiley Kaufman, growing out that playoff stash. Anirban Lahiri ended up tied for third with Derek Bathard. Hideki Matsuyama continued his strong play as of late with his second place finish, and Aussie Mark Leishman rounded out the top 5. Now last week I mentioned a few players to look out for. Now, aside from Justin Thomas, a few of the others fared well too. Sergio Garcia, Ian Poulter, in his first start since returning from injury, and Ryan Moore all finished tied 17th. As for the Canadians in the field, there were 2. Adam Hadwin was the top Canadian, finishing tied for 21st, and David Hearn finished tied for 66th. This week, there are 0 Canadians teeing it up in Shanghai. Elsewhere in the world of golf, the European Tour had an interesting way to kick off the Portugal Masters. To celebrate the 10th anniversary of the event, organizers set up a 3-man challenge on the eve of the tourney. The challenge? 30 bottles of beer, 1 drone, and 3 golfers. Each golfer got 10 balls and a 5-iron, and off they went. The chosen ones were European Ryder Cuppers Andy Sullivan and Thomas Pieters, and the hometown favorite, Portugal's number 1 ranked golfer, Ricardo Gouveia. With the honor, Gouveia went ahead and smashed 4 out of 10 bottles. Then Pieters was up. He narrowly edged out Gouveia with a 5 out of 10 performance, including this 2-for-1 masterpiece. And finally, defending Portugal Master champion Andy Sullivan was up. And as you can see from this picture, it didn't go as he had hoped, finishing with 3 out of 10 bottles smashed. But it wasn't done there. One more challenge, the drone challenge. Take a look. In the actual tournament, Andy Sullivan narrowly missed defending his title, but lost by 1 stroke to fan favorite Padraig Harrington. A nice return to form for Paddy. Alright, back to some PGA Tour news. It was announced this week that during next year's International Swing portion of the schedule, October 16th to 22nd, 2017, there will be a new event taking place in South Korea. The host site has yet to be announced, but the addition marks the 3rd PGA Tour event to be held in Asia, joining the CIMB Classic and this week's WGC-HSBC Champions event. Now it's time for a Tiger update. Once again, Tiger Woods had himself a busy week, and once again, that was off the golf course. After the announcement last week of his new business venture TGR, which we spoke about, Tiger was making the media rounds, most notably on Stephen Colbert and Charlie Rose. There were a few funny moments from it all, such as this joke Tiger cracked about Donald Trump.
Did you ever play with Trump? You said presidents.
But the 2 main takeaways from it all were from this answer, when asked if he thinks he'll still pass Jack's record to 18 majors.
I've accepted I'm going to get more.
And what Tiger's biggest regret is. I'm not even going to try and tease it because of all the juicy things we could have come up with. But Tiger went with, he wishes he would have stayed 1 more year at Stanford. 1 more year. What could Tiger have not gotten enough of at college? Oh. Here's hoping that this isn't all part of a Kobe-like softening right before the end. Alright, back to the real golf. The first WGC event of this season is being held this week in Shanghai, as the WGC-HSBC Champions event is being held this week at the Sheshan International Golf Course in Shanghai, China. That's a mouthful. Where both the PGA Tour and European Tours come together this week. The field is star-studded, accommodating 24 of the 30 players from last year's Tour Championship, and 40 of the top 50 in the World Golf Rankings. The field has 2 featured groups in the opening 2 rounds. First, Dustin Johnson is paired with Henrik Stenson and Patrick Reed, and Rory McIlroy is paired with Bubba Watson and Adam Scott. Other notable names in the field include, among others, Sergio Garcia, Matt Kuchar, and Ricky Fowler. Now, on the range this week, Rory McIlroy was spotted testing out TaylorMade woods, Rory, of course, is one of several golfers still playing Nike Club and will reportedly test out the TaylorMade M2 driver, 3-wood, and 5-wood in action this week in China. Now that's a fact, but if you're into conspiracy theories, hold on. There have been rumors swirling for the last couple of months that there is an investment group, including Tiger Woods, that are in talks to purchase Adidad Golf, which include TaylorMade Golf, Adams Golf, and Acushnet. Tiger Woods, of course, is another one of Nike's free agents, and a move like this would follow in the footsteps of the likes of Ben Hogan, Arnold Palmer, and Jack Nicklaus. All three have owned or started a golf equipment company at some point in their career. The McIlroy move, while not a huge hint in itself, follows a pattern of PGA Tour golfers sticking with Nike and TaylorMade. It's just a rumor at this point, but we'll see how this one pans out. Now, if you're a betting man or woman and want to put some cash on the line this weekend, or you'd just like some insight into who you should be rooting for, here are 5 players who I think are in good form heading into the event. The trio of Paul Casey, Hideki Matsuyama, and Ryan Moore have been on fire lately. A top 20 finish is a pretty safe assumption for at least 2 of the 3 this week. Justin Thomas, obviously coming off his win last week, and Russell Knox, defending his win from Shanghai last year, round out my top 5. Alright, that's all I got for this week. Justin Thomas successfully defended his title at the CIMB Classic. The European Tour showcased some of their talent in Portugal. The PGA Tour added an event in South Korea to next year's schedule. Tiger did the media rounds in the wake of TGR. Rory McIlroy is using TaylorMade woods this week, adding fuel to a TaylorMade buyout rumor, and the tour is in Shanghai, China, for the WGC-HSBC Champions event, where 40 of the top 50 players in the world have gathered from both the PGA Tour and European tours for this week's event. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, click like. If you really liked it, click subscribe. Feel free to leave any comments, and I, RJ McCullough, will see you next week.